individual as heterogeneous in nature.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your valuable thoughts. Now it's time for the next speaker, and she's Sudipta Sil from Department of Foreign Languages, Bpsmv University, Khanpur Kalan. Ma'am, I think she's not here. Can I go for next, sir?
Any kind of observations, queries, comments on the papers presented? Yes, sir. Both of them. So, any of the speakers you would like to comment on, you are most welcome.
I was going to clarify by Dr. Soma Mukherjee. Soma, I think it was an excellent paper. I enjoyed listening to your presentation. Thank you for doing that. You said that narratives like Ramkatha must be understood through their diachronic and synchronic understanding. So my point is, how do you reconcile this diachronic and synchronic understanding of narratives? So could you elaborate on that point? Soma, am I audible to you? Am I audible?
Yes, but a little bit, probably it's not so clear.
Okay, my point is... Am I audible?
Is it better?
Yes.
Okay. Soma, I was saying that it was an excellent paper. I enjoyed listening to your paper because you said that Indian literature basically is known by its plurality. That's a wonderful thing. My concern is, like you said, diachronic and synchronic understanding of narratives like Ramkatha. So could you elaborate on how to reconcile this diachronic and synchronic understanding of narratives like Ramkatha?
The synchronic and the diachronic study of Ramkatha. See how I am looking at this. Okay. See, for me, as a student of comparative literature, I am reading all the synchronic study as well as diachronic study is a great example through which I can substantiate the practice or maybe the approach of comparative literature, or maybe more specifically when I am reading or studying literature, where the synchronic level, the text within a particular linguistic system or maybe in multiple linguistic system, they can corroborate, they can offer similar kind of text and can offer a different kind of text. That when Meghnad Kabbya was written in 1861, not Ramayana, but that kind of the narrative, the format or maybe structures were used by several other, the Bengali authors like Hemchandra Bandyopadhyay, Nobin Chandra Sen, and they are using the Puran, the Puranic stories, Mahabharata stories, etc. But they are, if a student of Bengali literature he or she probably knows about all these texts. But what I am trying to say is that they are not so known outside the Bengali literary system, but they are not canonical. They somehow they did. See, there are literary reasons they did not get that kind of attention after 700 years. But these kind of texts, they are in a way looking at the Bengali literary system and how it actually interacting with the Puran Katha or maybe the Ramayana and Mahabharata. Some of them are gained canonical status, some of them are popular at that point of time, but later point of time they are not so popular. But these kind of continuities and discontinuities, they are part and parcel of Indian literary traditions. And if I am looking at that chronically, then there is a sense of standardization where we can look out at the text like Valmiki Ramayana, where we are looking at the journey of a man who became the ideal man, the ideal king, and in later point of time he became the avatar. But in contemporary times, or maybe in last 100 years, in different Indian languages, we are encountering certain texts which are problematizing that standardization process. My argument is, through literature you can make a standard, you can kind of create a structure, but through literature you even can destabilize you can kind of expand your horizon and can create new formats, new tales, etc.
Thank you.
Any other queries, questions, observations? Yeah, please. You would be audible to Soma better if you use the mic.
Soma has heard me for long enough. But no, I just like to sort of bring both of these together. It's switched on. आपको हमने बहुत disturb किया actually while you were speaking. So, but I have something to kind of connect both of these and one question which is there to both of you. But it's primarily a part of a larger question, or maybe a larger statement that I'm making on my own behalf. So she preempted me actually. There are a lot of things that she said. So I will talk about that when I speak later, but I would like to ask regarding the idea, two ideas, or three actually, that categories, standardization, and how we are able to read literature within these. When we talk about standardization, we are talking about canon most of the time, right? And we already have a very sort of a rightly, justly, negative view towards canon, because canon is anti-literature. Literature does not have any models. Every text is unique. So when you say standardization and you say this is being standardized, it is as if it is happening in literature. It is not. It is happening because of politics. That is the whole idea of relation. Location is precisely where you are when you are reading. So the act of reading is the most important thing that we as students of literature are considering. So that is a human act. तो उसमें तो सारा कुछ होगा. You cannot get rid of philosophy, society, time, whether you got out on the right side of the bed or not, perspective, वगैरह सारा कुछ उसमें होगा. And because of that, these controversies, I think we need to read I'm sorry to say our own text, but there is no other word for it. Because the whole binary of apna or paraya is so strong and so overtly politicized and so obstructive to clear thinking, that I think that has to be brought into our way of reading and our pedagogy, especially as we are all students and teachers and more than everything else, readers of literature. So it is this act of reading which is a unique act to us. which we are trying to understand, but we can't dislocate it anywhere. From that point of view, I would like to ask you, because we always talk in terms of, if the Purusha Sukta shows me an image, it shows me an image of, it displays the division of society through an image. It is not a justification for that division. We don't want to bring any other, what Foucault would call regime of truth, to justify because it is in the Vedas, and the Vedas are, which is why I appreciate what Professor Kapoor says, that these are not religious texts. They are not religious texts, but the next thing which I want to add there is that they are being used as religious texts. Our role, which is why I very much appreciate what Shoma said, that our role is to understand literature as destabilizing. Because वही जो सुनंजी कल कह रही थी कि all art is actually, but speech most actually not go in there. Which is why जो आपने पूरा controversy भी बताई, and I think we need to step out, because these are categories that have already been made for us. One group will say this is image metaphor कुछ भी, and another group will say no, this is religiously sanctioned, therefore this is justified, therefore violence is justified. So we don't, I think Hurtle has made categories, Weber and Derrida has made more categories, and eco-critics have made more categories, which is why I appreciated very much the paper yesterday. She said we need to look at it from our own point of view, which is, I think, the great worth of a meeting like this. So we end by thanking Professor Ravi Bhushan and the department here for making it possible for us. Thank you.
Now I would pass the chair for their concluding remarks.
And Dr. Soma Mukherjee, who in fact talked about and deliberated upon the idea of plurality in modern Indian literary traditions, a comparative perspective. The topic of the conference, obviously, it calls for serious deliberations on the very concept of our texts. Yesterday I was listening to Professor Dinesh Kumar, who in fact, was it Professor Dinesh Kumar? Professor Rajnish Kumar Mishra, who in fact spoke or gave this concept of Arsh literature. So, plurality in we celebrate this plurality, but then these are dimensions, and I was reading somewhere where the writer said ultimately throughout Southeast Asia, Ram Katha, it's like it flows spontaneously. एक अविरल धारा की तरह ये प्रवाहित होती है. स्थान, देशकाल, इसकी वजह से थोड़ा कहीं उसमें परिवर्तन आ जाता है, कहीं उसमें कुछ उनको विसंगतियां तो नहीं कहना चाहिए, लेकिन ये चीजें आती हैं. Let us accept them as such in order to make the picture wholesome and complete. As Dr. Soma said, this is how perhaps we connect the dots. So this is very important for all of us. And as academics, I would like to thank Professor Ipshita Chanda for making such succinct remarks on the concept of plurality, and yes, of course, our duty as academics. So with that, I must thank you all, and now it's over to the moderator of the next session. Thank you so much.
Now I would request Professor Javeid Bhat to honor Professor Ashok Bhagat.
host. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. The chair and the speakers to make this session very interesting and informative. Thank you so much. On to the next moderator.
अभी नहीं
Now it's our turn to honor you. आपने जो फॉरवर्ड की थी ना मेल उसी को
Namaskar sir. Namaskar to all of you.
Namaskar madam. Welcome again to BPS. Yeah, could you switch on your video, madam? All right, we will proceed with the session.
Okay sir.
Yeah, over to the moderator.
Good morning everyone. Now it's time for the fourth plenary session, and this session will be inviting to appear on the desk. I would just like to just share some information about him, a brief bio about him. So Dr. Javeid Iqbal Bhat is presently working at Postgraduate Department of English, University of Kashmir, Kashmir. Served as an academic, writer, translator, and a cultural critic. He teaches at the Postgraduate Department of English, South Campus, University of Kashmir. Sir has completed his PhD from the Department of English, Ohio University, USA. He has done his MPhil and MA programs from Center for English Studies, Jawaharlal Nehru University. Sir is the author of 7 books, including that is pressed by Oxford University Press. Among others, he has published essays in thought text, framework, and poetry.
Good morning to all of you. Our next speaker is Dr. Paramba Shree Yogamaya, and she is teaching department of Veda, Sree Jagannath Sanskrit University, Sree Bhim Singh. And if I can go to her full detailed bio, she is a Vedic scholar and working as an associate professor and head of the department of Veda at Sree Jagannath Sanskrit University, Puri, Odisha. Her other fields of research include Indology, epics and Puranas, philosophy and religion, and contemporary Sanskrit literature. She has been awarded OURI, the Research Project Award 2020, and Best Paper Award in 2022 by the State Government of Odisha. She has to her credit 39 research papers published in different journals. She is a creative writer in contemporary Sanskrit literature, and she has 2 national awards for her credit, where for Sanskrit in 2014 by Sahitya Academy is one of them. So today she will talk about Acharya Sayana's practice for the Rig Veda Bhashya and Vedic Panorama. I hope I have read the title correctly, and more will be here on the screen. So over to you, Dr. Paramba Shree Yogamaya.
Thank you.